this was supposed to be a super happy video. I finally got my PreCure butterfly wall scroll and I was super happy to come here, show it, celebrate it, because this was the one piece of my collection I really wanted to have, and I finally have it. But all I did while watching Wonderful PreCure episode 44 was cry. No, honestly, it was not only cry. I was truly watching one of the best PreCure episodes I have ever watched. This is, to me, clearly the best Wonderful PreCure episode. I know I have said this a couple times in my wonderful videos, but this one is truly the best. It's a very hard topic, but it was done in a very poetic way, in a very sentimental way. It was delicate. It was subtle, it was really, really pretty, and I cried, but I was happy with what I was watching. It's like, I'm always happy when PreCure is able to touch on certain topics that we wouldn't really expect them to touch directly, and they did it again. Wonderful PreCure talks about the relationship between humans and animals, a pet and their owner. And if we're talking about animals, we are talking about certain animals that have a way shorter lifespan than us humans. So we're going to talk about loss. We have to deal with losing an animal. And what an episode they gave us. So we have Otsuru, who has Fuku, which is a dog that is celebrating 18 years with her. The dog itself is not 18. It's even older than that because it's been 18 years that Fuku has been with Otsuru. Fuku wears a diaper because she's an older dog and she can't properly walk anymore, so she has to take Fuku on a stroll when they're walking around. You know, it's a tough life, but it's a happy life as well for Otsuru and her dog. And we get to know the story from when they met and a little bit more on Otsuru's story. It was very nice that we had the three amigas so prominent in this episode. The three amigas have been regulars, sort of regulars in Wonderful PreCure. They appeared more for the makeup, but obviously they had to be integrated into the animal aspect of it, and they were in the best way possible. So when Otsuru was younger, she had a dog that she grew up with, but obviously time has passed. This dog passed away and she did not want to have another dog because the suffering was too much. I can relate to that. We had a dog here in our household, and in 2015, our dog passed away with 16 years old. This was the only dog that I had, that we had. And after that, my mom did not want to get another dog. It was a huge suffering for all of us, but for her, it was a little stronger, I feel like. So she does not want to have another one. And I miss him every single day. The memories are such happy memories, but I miss him. I miss him a lot. And so Otsuru did not want to get another dog, but then we have another scenario in which she meets another dog that did not want to go with anyone, and then she instantly connected with this dog. I love that they finally touched on rescued animals here in this show, even though it was very short. This is such a beautiful thing. It's such a noble thing that people do. People who rescue animals, who try to give shelter, who try to find tutors or owners for those animals, they are real heroes of the world, in my view. I admire them. I admire their passion and their devotion to finding good places and houses for those animals. It's so pretty. And the three amigas are rescuers, or at least they help in those events. And then since that moment, Otsuru and Fuku have enjoyed their lives together. Fuku has changed Otsuru's life based on what the other two amigas have said. I don't remember their names. And they tell that Otsuru became real happy after being with Fuku. And they've been friends for a while, it seems. So, I think it was them that we saw in the flashback. So they've been together since at least when they were teenagers. It's so nice to have a strong and lasting friendship like this. Girl, amazing. And so we have the party, we have the embroidery, but right at the start of the episode, we see Niko-sama paying attention to Fuku. The scene wasn't as clear, but it was kind of clear where they were trying to go with that. And then when they were having the party for Fuku, Torame created another Gaogaon and they had to leave. When they left and Otsuru stayed behind, she noticed that there was something wrong with Fuku. She took Fuku to the vet very quickly. But then, the Gaogaon in this episode was a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Girl, what? And let me just say that I really loved the chase scene in this episode. Wow, I really hate the conclusion of the scene. I hate it so much, but I loved everything else. The animation was great. The way that the Cures were trying to do something to the Tyrannosaurus Rex and they were not being able to. It was really cool. Some animation shots, like your friendly throwing the ribbon to protect Wonderful, the way Nyami and Lilia were trying to hold the dinosaur. Girl, and where is our dinosaur PreCure season? We want it. To animation, please. And it was gorgeous. It was really nice. And then we have Torame. And Torame noticed that Otsuru was trying to go with Fuku somewhere, and he noticed that there was a sick animal there. And because of that, he knew that he had to do something. So he made the Gaogaon stop. He let the Gaogaon be purified so Otsuru could pass. I did not like the conclusion because I really don't like when the Cures are not able to find a solution. I hate it when the solution comes from something else. And I really wanted them to overcome such a strong Gaogaon by themselves. But at the same time, on the other side of the argument, there's Torame's character. We have to remember that the three villains of this season, they do not care about the humans, but they deeply care about the animals. I don't know about Zakuro, but Gao definitely cares a lot about the animals. And Torame proved in this episode that he also cares a lot about animals. That's probably true for Zakuro as well, even though she's infatuated with Gao. It's probably true for her. And he could have won this battle against the Cures, Torame, but he did not care. There was an animal in need. At a certain point, I believed that he was going to be the one to take the dog to the vet, but that wasn't the case. He just stopped the Gaogaon, and, that was very honorable of him, and that just goes to show that the villains in this season are not villains. And then Otsuru was able to go, and when they get there, and the Cures get there, they arrive there in the clinic, Iroha's mom says that there is no way to save Fuku. There's nothing they can do about it. And at that point on, I think, kind of knew that where the episode was going, and, my throat started to hurt because I was trying to hold back the tears, but I could not. My eyes started to get wet because there are two sides of this. I feel like Otsuru's side and Iroha's side as well. Otsuru is an older woman who has experienced life. She knows that parting ways, saying goodbye, is part of life. But for Iroha, it's a completely different aspect. Her best friend is a dog. Her life is full of animals. Her life is full of happiness everywhere. And saying goodbye for Iroha is a different aspect. It's a different thing. for both of those characters. And so Iroha started to realize that they would have to confront the reality. The reality was not easy. And then when they were going back to Otsuru's house, she even mentioned Nico-sama. And she was like, oh my god, Nico can do something, right? And when she looked at Nico, Nico's like, Iroha, I am sure you understand. I started crying at that moment. Nico-sama to me is the MVP of Wonderful, even though I love Nyami. I feel like the MVP, the true queen, is Nico-sama. I think that for all that happened in this episode, she was the GOAT. There was nothing that she could do. But at the same time, she is like this deity. But the deities here are just there for a little embezzlement and for a beautiful goodbye. The reality cannot be stopped. The reality has to be dealt with. There's no magic to come out of this. And what I really loved about those last moments were the simplicity of everything and also the overflowing emotions from both Otsuru and Fuku. At a certain point, when Otsuru was there enjoying Fuku's last moments and living a little bit more with the dog that she loves so much, she noticed that Komugi can actually understand what Fuku was saying. And they gave her the embroidery and they started communicating, and Fuku started communicating certain things for Otsuru. And they were all about gratitude, about love, about being thankful for everything that Otsuru did to her in her life. And that was magic. That was so beautiful. That to me, oh my god. And then when Fuku was almost in her last moments, she looks up and she sees God. She sees a Shinigami. I don't know. But it was Nico-sama. For her, it was an angel. It was a god. It was something. It was a creature that granted her her last wish. Her last wish was to be able to walk so that she could stay with Otsuru in her last breath. She licked Otsuru's tears and she hugged her. And she let Otsuru hug her one last time before passing away. I love that Nico was just a little accessory to make the goodbye a little prettier. That is something that we usually don't have in life. But for a show for kids, I like it. They do not run away from the main topic. They do not run away from the fact that dogs die. They do not run away from the fact that you are going to have to say goodbye to your best friend, to the one you love the most. One day, if you are a human and you have a dog, you will have to do that. But they give it a little sprinkle to make it a little bit more special. We're talking about an anime. We're talking about a narrative. They can do that without losing the real, without losing the reality, without losing the power of the message. It was truly, truly incredible. This is a masterpiece in PreCure. In my opinion, this is probably one of the best, top 10 PreCure episodes. I truly believe this. Incredible. Incredible. And then at the end of the episode, we have Iroha trying to deal with this goodbye. For Otsuru, it was hard, but she has the weapons to deal with it in her life. But for Iroha, it's touching deeper. Iroha was Fuku's friend. She grew up with Fuku as well. But there are other aspects of Iroha's life that are impacted by this. What about Komugi? I mean, Iroha did not mention that. We do not know if this is crossing Iroha's mind. Well, maybe it is. It is something she has to think about. We're probably going to discover that next week, because next week she will still be dealing with what happened in this episode. And next week, it's also a Torame special, and I'm very curious. There are no more Nico animals for him to capture, so it is his turn to play. Oh my god. What are your opinions on episode 44 from Wonderful PreCure? Please leave in the comments, let's talk about it. Anyways, babies, this is it for now. I'll take this little time to thank the members of the Magical Cinema channel. If you're a member, thank you very much for your support. And if you've watched the episode, thank you so much as well. Thanks so much for watching, until next time. Bye bye!